Hello and welcome to the lecture series on railways, harbour, tunneling and airport for the subject code 18CV645, Module 4, Session 4, Components of an airport. So in this session we are going to concentrate on the different components of an airport. So usually the components are going to be classified, or it's going to be having a two major component. One is airport landing area and airport terminal area. So these are going to be the major component when you are going to be studying. So first one, if we talk about the airport landing area, so it is going to be most of the critical for all type of operation has been concerned. So therefore the airport landing is going to be a crucial. So usually it includes the approach area, clear zone. So in this zone, airport zoning regulations are going to be under effective enforcement. So there is a strict rules to be followed in the landing area. So there should not be any access for any other type of a vehicle excluding the aircraft and required service vehicle. So that rules when we are going to be having, and certain components if we are going to be designing based on the landing activity. So usually the runway is going to be come under, or taxiway is going to be there. So those are going to be called as an airport landing area facilities. Next is going to be airport terminal. So in this one we are going to be having a hangar, terminal building, parking and circulations area and apron. So all these are going to be studied in detail with respect to airport terminal area has been concerned. So as I said, there will be different components of an airport has been concerned. More or the less we are going to be adapting all those components depending upon the purpose it is going to be served. So in this image we can say layout of an airport has been concerned. So this is going to be a typical image. We should not say that it has to be followed depending upon the topography, size and purpose of the airport to be designed. So based on that one we are going to be providing these element or the component. So the image is going to be clear. So first number indicates it's going to be runway lighting. So whatever the lighting it is been provided as approach lighting for the ease of landing or the takeoff has been concerned. So first one is going to be the runway lighting has been concerned. Second one is going to be de-icing. So as I said, depending upon the topography it can be provided depending upon the topography of a area. Next is going to be called as an pre-threshold. So try to see the image pre-threshold. So these arrow marks before starting of aiming point or a landing point, so that is going to be the arrow mark. So that is going to be called as a pre-threshold. Next is going to be the marking where the straight horizontal strip followed by these vertical lines, thick line. So that is going to be called as a PAPI. Next, fifth one is going to be the runway designator. So try to see the number. So it is going to be marked as 27 here. So at this end it is marked as a 9. So in runway I will explain what are those numbers. So that is called runway designator. So sixth one is going to be a runway center line. So these strips are going to be the center line of a runway. Seventh is going to be the touchdown. So upon aiming, so it has to touch down within our 50 to 60% of our total runway length. That is called a touchdown. Eighth one is going to be called as an aiming point. So before ending it should aim that particular length is going to be called as an aiming point or aiming zone. Ninth one is once again the threshold, and 10th is going to be the stopway. So whatever the aircraft we have been operating from pre-threshold to the center line and designator and aiming point, it has to stop within this what is called as a stopway has been concerned. And 11th one is going to be called as an holding position. So when it is going to be exit from the main runway, we should have some holding positions. And 12th one is called as an edge marking. So whatever the yellow strips we are seeing at the edges, so that is going to be called as an edge marking. So here also we are seeing some yellow color line, that is called as an edge marking. Then 13th is going to be called as a high speed taxiway. So suppose if it is going to be turned from the 50 to 60% within the total runway, so that is a high speed taxiway we are going to be providing it. So next is going to be the helicopter. So that is depending upon the type of airport, we are going to be having some helipads and helicopter stands. Then 15th is going to be the fire station. So immediately if there is any fire breakout during landing or any sorts of operation, so it should be very much adjacent to the exit taxiway has been concerned. And 16th is going to be the airline services here. So try to see the airline services. Then whatever the aircraft it is been pulled down from the main runway, the taxiway, then from the exit taxiway. So this area where the aircrafts are going to be standing or it is been parked systematically in position in base, so that is going to be called as an apron. So that is going to be there. Apart from that one, we are going to be having bus stops here. So that is going to be on the outer terminal facility, and these are the bus stops. Then if you are going to be having a taxi stand, so apart from that one, so after to have a lay down period or for any mechanical breakdown, the aircrafts are moved towards the hangar for the services, and this is the parking that is going to be provided for the vehicles for the passenger. So apart from that one, we are also going to be having some tower that is going to be called as an ATC cabinet or controlling tower and fuel depot. So these are a few of the components when we are talking about the layout plan of an airport has been concerned. More or less all these features are always going to be there. So say for example a railway station, but in some of the cases it is not possible, we can have operating direct shuttle bus services or the express services can be provided. So that is the thing. So in this image it is going to be demarcated with a three color. One is a black color, that is a asphalt. Wherever the runway is going to be there, it is going to be asphalted one. So taxiway and exit taxiway, the apron where the loading intensity and stresses are going to be more because of a high speed and stationed weight of an aircraft, it is going to be huge, hence it is always going to be a concrete one. So rest of the chocolate in color are going to be the facilities what we are going to be providing. So this is a systematic layout plan showing all the components of an airport. So we are going to study few of the major component of an airport has been concerned. So first we are going to study the runway, terminal building, apron, taxiway, exit taxiway, and aircraft stand, control tower, or sometimes we are going to be name as a ATC, that is a air traffic controller or air traffic cabin. ATC has been concerned. Next is the parking and hangar. So all these are said to be a major component for any type of an airport has been concerned. So we'll start with the definition of a runway. So as the name itself, it is going to be indicated run and way. So the way it is being provided for the actual operation, it is being designed with respect to the direction of the prevailing wind. So always the runways are going to be designed or oriented with respect to prevailing wind has been concerned. So it is a paved path, it is going to be operation for the landing of an aircraft or takeoff of an aircraft, it is going to be there. So usually the width of runway is going to be depend upon width of the largest aircraft we are going to be using it. So depending upon that one, and also the wheel configuration and load distribution has been concerned. So we are going to be operating the width of runway has been concerned. So it starts from 22.5 and 45, or depending upon the type of aircraft and type of airport we are been operating. So the width is going to be measured. Next is the length of a runway is going to be depends upon meteorological parameter and topographical condition. So when we talk about corrections to be applied, we are going to deal how the basic runway and corrections to be applied are going to be taken into account. So usually depending upon the speed and length of a aircraft, So any international airport should not be less than 2.5 kilometer or 2500 meters of a length. So that is a trend. So after that one, we are going to be orient the actual runway, and it is usually measured with respect to the magnetic north, then in terms of multiples of 10 degrees, and also the length is going to be always in multiples of 10 meters, a round figure. So as I said it in the layout plan, we had shown some number here, that is 27 and 9. So it indicates that 9 means 9 into 10, that is going to be a 90 degree when it is measured with respect to the north. Similarly, on the other end, if it is going to be 27, it is going to be 270 degree. It means 90 and 180 degree when it is going to be measured. So always these numbers are going to be in multiples of 10 degrees measured with northing. So that is a number. So just it is a number for easy identification of a orientation of a runway, for ease of a landing of any type of an aircraft has been concerned. So in this image we are been showing some threshold line. So as we are shown in the component touchdown zoning, so as these strips are being getting reduced, so this is going to be the fixed marking, so that it is going to be approaching towards the what we say the aiming point or touchdown point. So these solid lines are going to be called as runway center line, so that the nosing gear is going to be exactly on this center line, so that to avoid the sliding of the aircraft from the major runway has been concerned. So as we said, that is magnetic north, that is in a 10 degrees has been concerned. The same thing we are been shown. The 22 number indicates it is going to be 220 degree when measured with north has been concerned. That is a runway orientation. So with respect to northing and runway and its purpose. So here we can see the image of Chennai International Airport has been concerned. So whatever the thing, so we can see these solid lines. So as we have been shown in the layout planning has been concerned, so that is a number 10, that is going to be a stopway. So the same thing we can see here in this image also. So that is a stopway has been there, then the poppy is there, the runway center line, aiming point, touchdown area, and we can see some of the thing it is been taken diversion here, so that is going to be the taxiway. So in this we are having two runways, so that is going to be runway 1 and this is going to be runway 2. This is going to be the additional safety area or the stopping area. So this has been done because to have handle the traffic for the maximum operation. So we can see here somewhere in this image, if I am correct, just a minute, yes, here. So these are going to be the taxiways. Let's try to see it clearly. So after from the major runway we are going to be having it. So all these are going to be the apron where the vehicles are been, the aircraft have been standing, and this is going to be the terminal building. So these are the component we have been showing. So try to see how exactly the line diagram and actual plan we are going to be having for airport, runway and other facilities has been taken into consideration. So next component is going to be the terminal building. So sometimes this is also going to be called as an airport terminal. So what exactly the function of this airport or a terminal building? So always it is going to provide the services for the passenger or the cargo. So what are the facilities it is going to be provided? It provides the facility for check-in for the luggages, securities check, and for the customs, and it is going to be having a waiting lounges before disembarking. Also it is going to be having a cafes, lounges, bars, etc. So apart from that one, we are going to be having some ticketing counters, security check, customs, it is going to be required. So apart from that primary functions, we are going to be having a accommodation for the terminal operations activity, controlling towers, weather stations or weather bureau, passenger facilities, administrative blocks, etc. So all these are going to be facilitated inside the terminal building or airport terminal. So this terminal is, the size is going to be matter. So it always depends upon the peak hour traffic of a handling and the percent usage of an airport for a particular peak hour. So that is in terms of a square meter we are going to be providing it. So usually this terminal buildings should have a setback from by 150 meter to 75 meter. So as compared to instrumental landing, suppose if you are going to be having an instrumental landing, it should be have a 150 meter of a setback. So or otherwise for non-instrumental landing we can have 75 meters of setback for the type of an airport has been concerned. So this is the image, it is been showing the terminal building. So this entire area is going to be called as a terminal building. So inside which we are going to be having the facilities, lounges, security check-in, automatic ticket counters, baggaging centers, and here the security checks. So all these facilities are going to be there the inside terminal building. So apart from that one, additionally we are going to be having the parking lot. So that is the things we are going providing in any type of an airport. The size depends upon the capacity or the type of airport has been concerned. That is the major thing. So as I said it, the terminal building, so we need to plan some of the concept before starting the terminal building. So usually the terminal buildings are going to be conceptualized based on the centralization or decentralized type of an commercial airport. So what exactly meant by that one? In centralized planning, so all passenger and baggages and cargos are going to be formulated through the central building. So that is called centralized plan. Suppose this activity is going to be at the point near arrival or departure, so that is going to be called as a decentralized planning. So in this image I just have a clear point. So these are going to be a different base. Suppose if it is going to be a centralized and primary system, so it is going to be there at a one stretch where the passengers are going to be taken care in a one stretch. So suppose if it is going to be a secondary, so on the either side we are going to be having a facilities so that it is going to be cater. Next is going to be a decentralized one. So all the activities are going to be exactly at the departure point. So no passenger or the baggages are going to be in a centralized building. So sometimes we are going to be adopting a hybrid, that is going to be a decentralized and centralized. So how exactly? Try to see this image. So this is going to be the hub where each is going to be having a centralized facility, but when it is being connected to a decentralized hub facing. So these are a different types of concepts of a terminal building we are going to be making use of it. So apart from that one, so as we said, it is just a concept of centralized or how the facilities has been provided. Next is going to be the flow of a passenger. So depending upon this one, so minimum walking distance should not be more than 180 meters from the surface of a transportation it is being provided for the boarding. Similarly, the baggaging carrying should not be greater than of 25 meters. Next, the maximum check-in time to be 3 minutes. So these conditions should be taken as a principle with respect to passenger flow has been concerned. So apart from this one, as I said, the facilities are going to be provided in the airport terminal or the terminal building. So those are going to be categorized into general facility and services it is going to be required. That is an essential service it is being required. So moving on to the general facility, what type of facility we are going to be providing as a general. So always we can have some electronic locker or a parent room, prayer hall, swimming pool, televisions. So economic or executive lounge for comfortable stay for a period of a layover. Then it's going to be interterminal transports has been there, departure hall, then children play home or a playground, open area, smoking area, and arrival hall. So these are a few of the general facilities we are going to be providing inside the terminal building. So apart from that one, the services required essential services we have to be there is going to be the money exchange, that is a currency exchange facility. The baggage counter, suppose if it has been left, it is going to be taken care. Medical and pharmacies, post office and telecommunications, so hairdressing salon, toll free calling center, and shopping mall, supermarket and duty free zone. So apart from that one, we are going to be having the informations and inquiry counters, so where we are going to be getting the information of an aircraft or a scheduling timing. So that is information is going to be given with respect to time of scheduling, gating and security check announcement has to be concerned. Then bus stand, that is for other mode of transport, it connects it. Then airport info, and then the line booth, taxi, that is a rental one. Suppose if you want any rest for a more than 1 hour or 2 hour, for that we need to have the hotel reservation counters. Then if it is going to be any unaccompanied baggages are there, it has to be taken care in unaccompanied baggage counters. Apart from that one, we are going to be having some other additional facilities like a ramp, elevators or a lift, then which are going to be designed specially designed with respect to disabled persons, then telephones and the toilet. So apart from that one, nursery and feeding rooms has to be provided. So these are going to be service required at airport terminal building. So as I emphasizing, so there will be a different types of terminal with respect to geometry, orientation has been concerned. So it is going to be, this plan is concerned with terminal building where we are been providing the passenger facility for the arrival has been concerned. So in this arrival, try to see first one is going to be a baggage sorting hall. So after baggage sorting hall, we are going to be having a claim and immigration check. So after that one, we are going to be providing directly where a taxiway or aircon we are being providing for the pickup point. So after that one, suppose if you are going to be having we need to go for the customs, so custom baggaging check. So then otherwise, depending upon the number of gates, so on the both sides we can have the immigration check. Then we are going to be having a coach waiting. So suppose if we want to have the taxi or a rental car, so we are going to be having a pickup point or a rental point, or otherwise if you are going to be having a private car, so here we are going to be providing it. So these are going to be upper part baggages and once again the immigration area. So this is a typical plan of particular type of an airport. And the similar case, if it is going to be in a departure one, we are going to be having a number of gates opening. So try to see the gate hold rooms are provided here. So on the 3 sides, so these gates are going to be operated depending upon the flow in peak hour traffic. So then we are going to be having a landscape and departure transit. Then we are going to be having some check-in counters here for the immigration check-in counters. Then it is going to be elevated for the departure has been concerned. So this is another type of terminal building and passenger facilities provided with respect to departure has been concerned. So another plan we have been here showing the terminal building. So this is going to be with respect to domestic airport has been concerned. So try to see, there will be a 2 side, one is called as an air side and another is a land side. So here we can have some reserved lounges, custom officers, security folds here. So directly we can come over here, there we can have some counters. So from that counters we are going to be having a welcome launching. So there we are going to be having a direct provision for the terrace, or we can provide it the entry to the taxiway. So these are all different types of plans provided depending upon the functionality of an terminal building or airport. So next component, so we are studied the runway and terminal building. Next component is going to be called as an apron. So what exactly the apron? So apron is going to be always a paved area, so which is used for parking of an aircraft. So this parking is facilitated for the loading or unloading of a cargo, or otherwise the embarkation or de-embarkation of a passenger. So these activities are going to be taken care in the apron has been concerned. So usually this is going to be, apron is always going to be closed with distance with respect to hangar or otherwise the terminal building, because so whatever the passenger, if you want to for the embarkation has been concerned, it should be very much near to the terminal building, or if it is the aircraft has been moved towards the rest period for the hangar, so that's what the apron is always should be very much closer to terminal building or the hangar. So or otherwise if you want to refuel the aircraft, and that is also used in case of aprons has been concerned. So this is the functions. Then how the sizes of aprons are going to be depend. So it depends upon the type of an airport. So type of an airport, that is a domestic or international. So depending upon the airport, then the number and types of aircraft we have been using in the particular aircraft, then the parking configuration, so how we have been providing it, that is going to be taken care in designing of an apron. So as I said, the apron, so try to see in these images the apron has been concerned. So this is in a wider area where the aircraft has been stranded in the air bridge. So the passengers or the cargo is going to be loaded or unloading. So that sorts of activity, it is moved away from the high speed area of a runway or the taxiway. So that is going to be called as an apron. So this is also one type of an apron where we are going to be having the facility centers or terminal building and adjacent to the ATC, and the terminal building, or all these things are going to be provided in decentralized manner. So that is also going to be called as an apron. So next component is going to be the taxiway. So always try to remember the runway and the taxiways are going to be designed on the same principles, but width is going to be lesser than the main runway. So that is providing the access to the runway or the apron or the hangar. So that connectivity link is going to be called as a taxiway. So usually taxiways are going to be paved as a rigid, or otherwise it is going to be the flexible type. So they are used for the movement of a aircraft in the airfield, such as for the exit or the landing, or otherwise exit for the takeoff. So that is going to be whenever the aircraft is moved from the hangar apron to the main runway, or in the vice versa. So this taxiway is going to be utilized. Usually it should have a longitudinal grade should not be greater than 3%, while the transverse grade should not be less than 0.5%, and it should be provided with a shoulder of 7.5 meter width, which is a bituminous one. It has to be surface, and it should have a minimum visibility at a distance of 300 meter to a pilot at 3 meter height has been concerned over the ground. Apart from that one, usually we should have a shoulder, that is as I said it, the same thing with respect to taxiway has been concerned. So this is the area where we can see there is a main runway. Then apart from that one, directly we are going to be having a taxiway here. Then this is the exit taxiway moving towards the apron. So here also we are having a terminal building. So once again this is an apron. Then this is going to be the exit taxiway, and this might be the taxiway we have been providing it. So the exit taxiway is always going to be the curved path which connects runway and taxiway. So as I said it, so whatever the curved path we have been having it, so here also and somewhere here, or otherwise I can show by this clearly in this image. Yes, so in this image we can see that this is a runway and this is a main taxiway has been concerned. So whatever the curved path we have been providing here, so that is going to be called as an exit taxiway. So it connects both the hangar, or it is going to be connects runway and taxiway. Okay, so that is going to be called the main purpose. So main purpose is once again it is going to be clear for the main runway for its operation, for landing and loading, boarding or any other things. So usually it going to give you the access for terminal building or the hangars. Next is going to be the aircraft stand. So sometimes portion of an apron is going to be so designed as a taxiway so that it intends the purpose is going to be access for the aircraft stands only. So no loading or any activity are going to be there. So that part is going to be called as an aircraft stand. Next is going to be the parking, where the vehicle it is in a specified area parked in systematically in an angle or the space provided. So that is going to be called as an parking area. So next component is going to be ATC or control tower. So as the name indicates, it's going to be a controlling for the aircraft for the smooth operation of a landing or a takeoff. So that tower it is been controlled by the radio signals or any other radar control or ILS facility for the navigation of an aircraft. So that is called as a control tower or ATC. So in which it is going to be giving a coordination for the aircraft for the operation of landing or a takeoff. So usually it's operate in ILS, that is instrumental landing system facilities. So this is the image where we can see the ATC cabin or control tower in which we are going to be giving a guided path. So this is an another image where we are been seeing. So the tower it has been certainly at a height so that the persons or the controllers we can give watch in horizontal and a vertical path to give commands for the safety operation of an aircraft. Moving on to the next component, that is going to be called as an hangar. So it is going to be a sheltered area where in which the aircraft are going to be protective, or it can be used for the maintenance or to have a protection from the adverse weathers or sunlight or repairing or any assembling has been concerned. So that area it has been provided with metal or any other shed type or any thing protect aircraft from the adverse weather condition. Those are going to be called as an hangar. So the hangars we are going to be having a three type. One is going to be called as a T-shaped. So this is used for a very small aircraft has been concerned. So where it is going to be economical to provide it, then it is going to be called as a grouped hangar. And the third category is going to be called as a nose type of hangar has been concerned, where in which the bigger aircraft only the nosing and a certain part is going to be covered or it is been sheltered. So how we are going to be select a site suitable for the hangars has been concerned. So as far as possible always the hangar should be have a proximity towards the apron has been concerned. It should have a favorable topography and effective drainage and scope for future expansion. So these three components has to be kept in mind while we are going to be deciding the hangar site suitability. So this is the image of nose type. Just to see the major portion, that is a critical portion is going to be this one, that is a nose, and some wings are going to be sheltered inside. So that type of hangars we are going to be called as an nose type. So this is a shed type where we are going to be providing a T type. So as I explained, so these are the shelters. So usually we are going to be providing it. So try to see, suppose if it is going to be aircraft is going to be a smaller in size, the entire thing is going to be covered. So that is the principle of a hangar and its type. So to prepare this session, once again we are referred standard textbook and the Wikipedia for the web references.